what's going on with him. So with that said, we're getting into chapter 38.
Yeah.
So what are your what's your synopsis? I'll go first. I put Judah's character for chapter 38.
I want to say righteousness.
Okay.
Gosh, I got good ones.
I'm making them up as I go because I have paragraphs too. And I'm like, I hope y'all don't say what I want to say in my head when it comes to my head.
That's the person. Deception is like the biggest thing I was focused on when I wrote my little blurb.
Yeah.
Like what she did helped other things unfold, and we learned more about Judah because of her actions.
Okay. So your deception, you were thinking about Tamar in specific. You weren't thinking about Onan.
No. Oh my God.
Because there's deception all over the place.
Yeah, it was.
Not thinking about what other areas of deception was there any deception with
Judah.
With Judah?
Mm-hmm. Because he promised his son,
and he didn't want her to have him.
And he was never going to give her.
So that fits in the whole thing.
So just deception all over the place. We found it all. That's so crazy. No, really, like I acknowledge those pieces, but for whatever reason, Tamar just seemed more egregious to me. I don't know, like it just because like whoa, because then out of that whole situation, I mean, good and bad, I guess. Perez and Zera was birth of that whole situation. So I'm like, there something big came with this,
right?
And I was like, man, like her. But then again, I think we talked about in the episode like things were being done to her, and she was kind of like taking back her power in a sense, because she just wanted to have a child. She was supposed to have one. Well, I mean, Er's gone, so she's a widow. Onan is not he ain't trying to do it. I mean, he's doing it. He's, he's doing it. But he's spilling his semen on the ground.
Right.
So, like, it's like, there's some deception. And then I guess she acknowledges that she'll never be with Shayla because of Judah. Yeah. So she's just like, I think, I don't know. I don't want to use the word victim. I feel like victim's a little strong. But, like, we kind of talked about her being the one that's, I guess, a victim in the situation.
I don't think it's too strong because Chris brought it back to what's that movie? The Color Purple. Yeah,
the movie you saw and didn't like it all.
I didn't. Oh yeah, I did go back and watch The Color Purple. People,
and you just don't like it.
I don't understand why all the classic. Let me not say all because I haven't even watched them all. But every time y'all tell me to go watch a black movie, it's trauma. Like,
okay, that's valid.
I don't like that.
Oh my gosh, it was. I mean, parts of it I was like, but the end of it I loved.
No, it took way too long.
It had the redeeming quality.
No,
yeah,
is it redeeming?
Well,
how old was that lady at the end of the day? It's ridiculous.
That's true.
But I don't know when they were at the table. And she said, "Till you do right by me, everything you touch." I don't know. She did a finger somehow, some way. I was like, "Get him!"
It's your whole life is gone. Like I don't. At this point, just stay there.
Right? No, you don't want that.
It was just a waste of a life to me, and I don't like that. Like, eventually I'll get out of this. No, get out now, today. Let's make movies where in the first scene something happens and they get out.
That's okay.
The movie's over then. The movie is done.
No, it's not. Because you can get out, right? You get out and then you live a life.
Nobody want to see that.
Yes, we do. I do. I want to see that
story, like early on in the plot, like
yes, and then see how she succeeds, and then you can show the other person who was causing the havoc. Show how they don't succeed. How about we do that so that people can stop traumatizing people?
All right.
No, that's valid.
So, all right. We're not going to change Moyo's mind about the Color Purple.
Terrible movie. Terrible.
Hated it.
Exactly.
So, I think that Tamar was going through a lot. Why did you say righteousness for that chapter?
Because there is a question of righteousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that chapter, we kind of debated what do they mean by righteousness here? Because both of them to us are not doing great things. Like neither one of them throughout the whole story, there's no real redeeming qualities for Judah or Tamar. It's just like y'all did a whole lot of bad stuff, and God got his glory, but then Judah's like, you're more righteous than me, but is she?
Right.
So I think it's just the idea of like, what is righteousness? And something to think about.
Okay.
Well, so initially I was thinking of my one little sentence thing was going to be broken promises, because he say that you're more righteous than me because he broke his promise?
Yeah, I guess.
So maybe holding true to your word is what's more valuable. Like what underpins or like what's causing him to say that? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like so. In that case, the righteousness is not based on just righteousness. It's based off of you're just better than I am. But is righteous the word to use?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, is she actually righteous, or is it just that you're a little better than me, actually?
Right. Which is what I thought. That's just all. That's what it was. Okay, that's what I took from it when we first recorded that episode. Like, you're just a better person. Like, you're just a better person because I broke my promise to you. You didn't get what you were supposed to get out of this deal, which was a child. So,
yeah. And is she even really a better person, or did she just get her way?
Right.
Which is what I struggle with. I still struggle with the victim thing, but I mean, yes and no. I didn't really see her as a victim at the time. I guess I can see it now, but I still felt like you still did something wrong to get your way. You still deceived to get your way. And who's to say you were deserving at the end of all of this of what you got? Like, I don't know. That's initially my initial thoughts when I read this the first time. I still have little sprinkles of that, just a little bit, but I do understand that like she was kind of put in the position that she was in by Judah. So I get both sides.
Yeah, it's interesting. But what else stood out to me with that, as we were talking, is the fact that we have questions about the things that were done. And this is piggyback on seeing God in this, the Lord in this. But the Lord was still able to get accomplished what he wanted to, even with questionable agents, right? And even with Judah being, but bad, right? He was just this horrible dude, questioned a lot of the things he did, didn't look for a wife within the clan, but went outside and found a wife from somewhere else and lied to Tamar about Shelah. So even with that, through his line, God, before he redeemed himself, which we'll talk to in a bit, God had said Jesus is going to come through, through that line. Yeah. And part of getting the redemption, I think, was done by some questionable things by Tamar. Because she put herself out there as a prostitute, and I mean, your boy didn't have to do it, but maybe he was feeling froggy. Who knows?
No, he was about that life, obviously.
but yeah. So even with those characters, even with that going on, what we see at the end is Perez being born. And he plays a major part in terms of the lineage that you see in Matthew of getting to Jesus. So and I put Judah's character, which we basically just touched on, right? Yeah. He was pretty foul, which is why we named the episode Pretty on All Fronts.